I made the impossible possible. I created the 2026 version of the movie classic Space Jam, but with football and totally unique new characters. I wanted to do a project like this since I was in film school. On a complicated project, do you know what the most expensive part is? It's not the gear, it's not the people, it's the confusion. The director sees one frame, the DP sees one frame, the VFX artist sees some frame, and the whole project is starting to burn a lot of money before we've done anything at all. Doing a Previz'd is a solution for that, but on big high-budget movies, a Previz'd can cost about $15,000 to $100,000. And even just a basic storyboard animatic for a short commercial can last about 1 week to produce. This is the reason why I used invideo Agent 1 for this project. I'm going to show you multiple Previz'd methods that you can do that are different in speed and quality, but help you dramatically to improve your project. I'm even going to show you how much each method cost me on credits. Let's talk about the concept. We already have a script and we already have reference frames for each character. We already had done pre-production. We tried to create this project like we would do an actually project. And for each scene I wrote down a location, a camera angle, what the camera should do, what the action is, and what the sound and dialogue is. This is a stress test because we have two different worlds in one single scene. We have the humans, then we have the cartoon characters that should squish, they should smear. This is a very complicated thing to do. Now the magic of Agent 1 begins. This video is sponsored by invideo, but everything you heard from me is my personal opinion. You take your concept, throw it into Agent 1 and hit go. The magic is context. Agent 1 will now analyze your document and will always remember every single detail. So every new input you give to Agent 1 will use this information to make the most constant generation. After analyzing my document, Agent 1 actually corrects me and looks for mistakes into the document. He wrote things like, what about the brand safety rules? El Pupo, is it a squid or octopus? Because one line says that and the other one says that. So I'm answering every single question and then hit go again. Then I add these character sheets and tell Agent 1 to add them to the context. And the most important part about them is that you see the character from every angle on a very neutral background. Then I do the same thing with the location. Some background informations like how the other teammates of the people should look like. Now everything works in one single plan. Now we can go to the context tab. Every single detail from the document is perfectly documented here in invideo Agent 1. Text to video. This is the fastest option that we have. I'm just typing in Agent 1 this prompt. Using only the existing pitch invasion, context and corrected treatment, create one complete multi-shot of the full trailer. Or you just type in now create a video. So now we go into the page tab and there's our first render. Let's check it out.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not.
I think the first one was already pretty solid. We have this nice wide angle shot at the beginning, also some multicam shots. We're using Seedance 2.0 for this generation, but we have a problem actually. I wanted to see them at the beginning from the back, so we can see the Ronaldo on the Argentina shirt. Agent 1 actually gives you some choices you can make if you want to roll everything based on the trailer, or you want to tweak a little bit more. I will choose I want to tweak a little bit. I want a shot actually like this and not like that. That's basically directing. This is the new generation. Now we are from behind, nice side angle, the lighting also very realistically. My most feared moment is always that the cartoon characters look too flat, too two-dimensional, but we have this really nice tree cell shading look that I wrote down in the treatment at the beginning. Now I tell the agent that he can generate the rest of the videos, but I'm also going to tell him that I want the characters to look more bouncy. So the first Previz'd is done. It took us exactly this many credits to do. Let's check out the result.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not. What if I can't do it?
You're 2 meters of Argentina granite.
Granite cracks.
So So the first pre-verse was a lot of great shots, but there are also a lot of really bad ones. Overall, the look, the location, everything stays consistent, but we have this little bit of error where we have the stadium as an actually background and we're not actually on the field. This is something we have to fix in the context that I have to write down. Then this part is my favorite sequence. We have nice camera movement. The dialogue is great, the timing is great, the lighting is amazing on this. We have this cool backlight and this warm key light here from this lamp. The cartoon characters really react to the ambience of the room, and this is my most important part. Also look at these little details that he put in the background just from the reference frames. Here also really bad that he just put them in the background like wallpaper from a stadium, and this one was a total disaster for most of the time. This one is actually cool until this point. Then he morphs very weird back. So the next thing I'm going to do is work a little bit on the camera motion, because now everything was like in a drill, very smooth, very controlled. Now I want to do a new take where everything feels much more handheld and wild. So I can decide after that which look for which scene is the best. So that's the reason why I wrote down this prompt, which is basically saying make every shot now more handheld, more energetic, more motion blur.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not. What if I can't do it?
You're 2 meters of Argentinian granite!
Granite cracks.
Now a lot of shots got better, a few got worse, but a lot of them really turns out very nice. Now we have this really roboter arm motion at the beginning, which is kind of cool, but I liked for cinematic rail at the beginning this really hard cuts. Then this shot of the stadium, very low angle FPV type shot going through the crowd, then to the stadium, and then revealing where we are at the moment. Then here also that we have this whip pan from the bank to the player. It feels much more energetic, much more opaque than just a normal slow push in. Also here really great the combination of the animation from the real people and the cartoon characters. Everyone moves normally. He's doing this little dribbling over here. Then this one at the beginning I don't like the whip pans here, but here this handheld feeling really gave me also the feeling of the old Looney Tunes movies. I think the first version looks more cinematic, but this one has a different, more cartoony energy to it. This one is totally disgusting. This one also turned really nice, the slow motion, and then speed ramp directly to the corner of the goal. Also very cartoony with the smearing and de-squeezing of the person. Also this end shot a lot better that he's just there in the dark, very isolated from everyone. Really nice way to end up trailer. Speed-wise, I would rank this around an 8 out of 10. You have a really nice preview, in my opinion, in half an hour. Now let's jump to method 2. Method 2 is the treatment explanation. Goal now is to lock the visual identity of the film. I will now start generating one single image where I think this is the perfect look for the whole video. I am using the shot at the beginning and I'm giving in this prompt, create a ChatGPT 2 image generator, and this is the final look I'm getting. Now we'll tell Agent 1 to use this frame as a visual anchor with a little description of 35mm analog, film grain, halation, bloom, some just a few keywords that you know in which direction. These were the first results I'm getting, which is actually this coded look that I described where I have this cool tones and this warm tones in one single frame, but I want the image to have overall just a cool look to enhance a little bit more this feeling of something is off. I think in InVideo it's really good to use actual filmmaker language. You should say something like use a 16:1 fill ratio or use 4 stops difference in your skin to create a more three-dimensional look. So this is the look. Let's check it out.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not. What if I can't do it?
You're 2 meters of Argentinian granite.
Granite cracks.
The last one was crazy. You probably noticed the whole look of the whole movie change a little bit. We are much more cool. We have now much more variations when we have handheld shots and also when we have Steadicam shots. Here, I think we continued the shot a little bit better because now we see again a wide shot of the three guys and then we go for a crazy drone shot and reveal the stadium. Also very good. I like actually the motion, the bloom of the lights. Here now we have a mixture from the shots before. We have now this handheld feeling, but also this whip pan that we have a totally different shot, really cool. Here you can see how he adapted this new information with the, hey, I want much more silhouette, I want much more contrast from the key lights. Here I also added some new information so that he has a player in his hand and just throws him away. But in my opinion, this looks much more like the new Space Jam movie. This was one of my favorite shots overall. The jump, really funny. And also the face he makes at the end of this shot. It's like, okay, I've done my part, can I go home? And this was absolutely out of nowhere. I said them beforehand that I want a more dynamic shot, a tracking shot, but the bicycle kick at the end was actually insane. But in this shot, I don't think he adapted the color grading so good. So I said to the Agent 1, please do this shot again. And this is the result, and it's much more natural. He jumps on the head and goes for the bicycle kick. Absolute cinema. So how good is this method? I would rate around also an 8, but I think it's much slower. Sure, you have a more consistent look, but most of the time overall I think the AI does a very great job when you write it down in your treatment that all shots look pretty similar. So we have just a little bit of improvement. When we have a lot more locations than just the two, I would probably do it that way because each location needs its own aesthetic. Method 3 is the storyboard method. This one I would probably choose if you have a storyboarder and just want to animate it. The storyboard art is totally something you can invest in, but animating everything would be very expensive. So now I created a new agent and he's just for doing storyboards here because I don't want to dump everything into one chat. So this is the prompt I wrote. I wanted to do a 3x3 storyboard system, how you see it most of the time online. This is actually a workflow I do never. So this is the moment to find out myself, how good is it actually? So these are the first results I'm getting, and you can see most of them just represent the idea of the shot that I had, but it's not exactly the angle or the look that I wanted. So I go back to the chat box and corrected every single shot. I basically wrote, hey, make this one wider, make this one tighter, and then I hit generate again. And this is the end result, and it's much more accurate than before. So let's now use the storyboard, write this prompt, and let Agent 1 generate the new version.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not. What if I can't do it?
You're 2 meters of Argentinian granite.
Granite cracks.
Now we got the result that I think, yeah, it's okay for Previz'd, but in my opinion, it's not that accurate actually doing with the storyboard. The shot with the gold was totally something else, but then I run several tests to just generate this shot. The angle just didn't work. I had a lot of errors with saying do a top shot of the scenery. I think when you look side by side, you can actually see, yeah, okay, it's using really the shots from the storyboard, also the input I gave in context, but in my opinion, he used a lot less multi-shot. A lot of the shots are now more one continuous shot. I don't know. I think when you're doing a text prompt at the beginning, it's much better than this one. This was the actual cost of doing it that way. In my opinion, it was the slowest. One technique is also you can generate just more storyboards and at the end say, okay, use this shot, this shot, this shot, this shot. Now we had method 4, the hero shot method. So what I'm doing, I'm creating a new agent to create for every single scene one hero shot in 20:9 aspect ratio, no video yet, use ChatGPT-2 image generation. This is the first shot that he generated. Now we have the same process as the beginning. I want that the actor is much taller than the animals. Now we can scroll to every generation and analyze then and then tell the AI again, okay, This shot maybe wider, this shot maybe tighter. Can we change to close up? Again, this step feels much more like directing than just generating AI. Like you're sitting on your director monitor and then say, can we change the lens maybe? Here would be an 85mm much better than a 24 one. I work with that to say, take this image as an inspiration for Seedance and not actually use this frame. So I say Agent 1 to use Seedance 2.0 at 1080p resolution and hit go.
Wait, are they chanting for me?
They are not. What if I can't do it?
You're 2 meters of Argentinian granite.
Granite cracks.
Workflow was clearly the slowest, but in comparison to how long it would take, it was lightning fast. The most basic form of a Previz'd is an animatic, where you just can throw in images in a timeline, editing together, and then add an audio over it, so just everyone knows exactly, okay, this is the mood, this is the acting, and this is what actually should happening right now. This technique basically costs you nothing, but as a first step, the fastest steps, it's a very great way to start. There's actually a tool in invideo where you can add every single image into a timeline and just render it out. So which one was the best? For me, clearly, it is method 1 and method 4. Method 1, just when you have to do something quick and accurate, this is perfect. Just one prompt, bounce it out, done. And most people will have clear understanding of what you want to create. Then the last one is the most accurate one. It's still pretty fast, it is slower, but in comparison to what the industry normally takes, this is lightning fast. It's always good to just have a shot list and everyone pretty much understand what you're doing, but see it visually and then creating it and then choosing different options, like at the beginning where I choose Steadicam movement, now give me a handheld movement, really enhances your production because now you're doing things you probably didn't have done if you hadn't had the previews. So if you liked the video and want to try it yourself, check out the first link in the video description. My name is Marco Bagnoli and I'll see you next time.